My name is Robert Walton, an explorer, a dreamer, and a man of science. I write these words from the deck of my ship, trapped in the frozen wastes of the Arctic. Snow whips across the endless ice like ghosts searching for warmth, and my men grow restless with fear. We came in search of glory, of discovery, but what we found was something else entirely. Several days ago, we spotted a figure racing across the ice. Not a man. No, something larger, more feral. Before we could reach it, it vanished into the white. But the next morning, we found a man, half dead, frozen, clinging to life. We dragged him aboard, wrapped him in blankets, fed him broth. His name, Victor Frankenstein. He spoke of horrors beyond imagining, of a creature born not of nature, but of man's ambition, of life stolen from death. He begged me not to pursue the figure we had seen, called it a demon, said it was his creation. And so, as the ship groaned in the ice, and the sky above turned gray with snow, Victor began to tell me his story, a story of genius, obsession, and ruin. Victor Frankenstein was born into privilege in Geneva, Switzerland. His childhood was filled with love, education, and wonder. He had two younger brothers and a beautiful cousin, Elizabeth, who would later become his bride. Even as a child, Victor was different, curious beyond measure, drawn not just to facts, but to mysteries. While other children played games, Victor pored over old books of alchemy and mysticism. He read of Agrippa, Paracelsus, and Magnus, not for fantasy, but for truth. His father dismissed those texts as nonsense, but the damage, or the inspiration, was done. A seed had been planted. When Victor's mother died of scarlet fever, something inside him snapped. He saw death's cruelty up close. It wasn't just loss, it was theft. It was wrong. He swore that one day he would defy it. Victor left Geneva to study at the University of Ingolstadt. There he dove into modern science with the hunger of a man possessed. Chemistry, anatomy, biology, and galvanism, the idea that electricity could reanimate dead tissue. He studied late into the night, worked in silence, and kept to himself. Professors called him brilliant. Fellow students called him strange, but Victor had a plan. In secret, he began to collect the remains of the dead, bones from charnel houses, flesh from graveyards. He sought the perfect pieces, strong limbs, healthy organs, a heart capable of beating again, and then he stitched them together. For months he labored in darkness, never resting. He constructed a body 8 feet tall, powerful, immense. A creature designed not for beauty, but function. And on a stormy night, he gave us life. Lightning crashed, machines roared, electricity surged into the corpse. And then, it opened its eyes. Victor had done the unthinkable. He had created life, but instead of triumph, he felt only dread. The creature was hideous. Yellow skin barely covered the muscles and arteries beneath. Its eyes were watery, its lips black. It reached for him, not with anger, but with innocence. Victor fled. He ran from his laboratory, from his apartment, from his creation. He spent days in delirium, haunted by nightmares of death and decay. When he returned, the creature was gone. Victor believed it had perished, that the horror had ended, but it had only just begun. Victor tried to move on. He returned to Geneva after hearing tragic news. His youngest brother, William, had been murdered. A servant girl, Justine, was blamed. She was innocent, but the evidence was stacked against her. Victor knew the truth. He had seen something in the woods. A figure, tall, monstrous. The creature. Justine was hanged, and Victor's guilt grew unbearable. He had brought this evil into the world, and now the people he loved were paying the price. In the mountains, Victor was confronted by the being he had created. It did not attack. It spoke, eloquent, intelligent, heartbroken. "You made me," it said, "and then you abandoned me." The creature told its story. After Victor fled, it had wandered into the wilderness. It hid from humans, who screamed and attacked on sight. It found shelter near a small cottage and watched the family inside. Through them, it learned to speak, to read, to feel. It admired their kindness, but when it tried to reveal itself, they rejected it in terror. The creature had begged for love. What it received was hatred. It swore revenge, not because it was born evil, but because the world had made it so. "I am malicious because I am miserable," it said. It had killed William not from rage, but from despair. It had framed Justine out of spite. Then it made a request: "Make me a companion, someone who will not reject me, someone like me." Victor agreed. He traveled to Scotland to begin work on a second creature, but doubt plagued him. What if the new creature was more violent? What if they had children? One night, as the first creature watched through the window, Victor destroyed his work. The creature howled with grief. "You are my creator, but I am your master. Obey." It swore revenge. "I will be with you on your wedding night." Victor returned to Geneva and married Elizabeth, but fear gripped him. He expected the creature to kill him that night. Instead, it killed Elizabeth. Victor saw her lifeless body and knew it would never stop. His father died from heartbreak, and Victor, now utterly alone, vowed to hunt the creature to the ends of the earth. Across mountains, rivers, and frozen oceans, Victor pursued his creation. But the creature was always one step ahead. Finally, in the Arctic, Victor collapsed. His strength failed him, and that is where Walton found him. After telling his tale, Victor died aboard Walton's ship. That night, the creature came. It stood over Victor's body and wept. "I did not want this," it said. "I was born with love in my heart, but I was shaped by hate." It told Walton it would go north and build its own funeral pyre, that it would die and end the curse. And then it vanished into the snow. This is not a story of a monster. It is a story of a man who wanted to play God, of love and loneliness, of creation and its consequences. Victor Frankenstein dared to steal the spark of life, but in doing so, he created something neither alive nor dead. Not a monster, but a mirror, a reflection of the darkness within us all.